Welcome, everyone. Today we're talking about Skullgirls. A pretty damn good game, if you ask me. Today, I'm going to tell you why you should be playing it. But you might be asking, aren't there like 100 other fighting games out there? And, well, you're right. You might also be asking, aren't they way better and more popular? You might be right as well. But I'm going to tell you why Skullgirls is a way better fighting game. And try to convince you to get it. First off, Skullgirls is a 2D fighting game that has players pitted against one another using what's known as the Skullgirls, and then a couple of the characters carry says Skull Guys? I don't know, it's weird. But use teams of 1, 2, or 3 characters, much like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. If you've never played that game, well, oh well. And Skullgirls, while it has a small roster, they are very highly stylized and amazing. I mean, Skullgirls started out with 8 original characters, all of which have great and different moves from one another, and a 9th that's kind of just a boss character like Inferno from Soul Calibur, but still really good. And albeit her combat moves are also really cool. They also later then added 5 more DLC characters to the game. Yeah, they cost more money, but, you know, DLC. Every game has it. They're still all really highly stylized and amazing good characters too. Skullgirls as well, if the roster puts you off, I don't blame you. It's hard to do, but Skullgirls does one thing that I haven't seen any other game do, and that's the training data that it gives you. You can customize how you want to train the game. You can literally, not train the game, train yourself. And it allows you to go from showing grids and graphs of everything from the frame data straight down to what frame does what. Every hit status, slow motion hit status. And it's amazing that they give you this amount of options. Especially considering the fact that I think the only game that I know of currently that does it is Super Street Fighter. And Street Fighter is a pretty darn good game, I'll give it that. But, albeit, I don't think it does it as good as this. In Skullgirls, you can literally learn every character's hit status boxes on every single thing. You can even watch stun bars, which is amazing. Hell, you can even see one of the characters' hitboxes when they're doing the Russian kicking dance, which is hilarious. But one thing that Skullgirls also does is not just teach you the game, but it teaches you the game's mechanics, and every mechanic with every single character individually, which is absolutely amazing in my opinion. I don't know any other game that'll do that for you. I mean, yes, there are things that'll show you the character's moves, but Skullgirls will take you by the hand and show you exactly how to do it, which in my opinion is unbelievable for a fighting game and very good for resources, because you need it. Now you might be asking yourself at this point, well, what do I do after all that crazy intense training? Well, the multiplayer is your next step, and GGPO has you covered on this. GGPO is a, well, new type of frame data selection thingy, all this crazy, it's bonkers. From what I read up about it, GGPO is a new netcode that was specifically made for a few other games, including Skullgirls, to be able to basically make lag look like it's non-existent. There is some input lag, I will give it that, but GGPO takes over so much of it to where I've played against people in Japan, literally, I've played against people in Japan, and I only had maybe 100 ping, and you can set the frame delay for online as well for that to compensate. And you can do it on the fly. So when I was against that person in Japan, I literally just switched it to, I think it was about a 3-second delay, and I didn't have any problem after that. It was great. And then including when I'm fighting against my friends locally or even across the states, there's no lag whatsoever. And I think it's great. If that's not enough to get you into the game, the hand frame animations, hand drawn for every frame animation is absolutely amazing. It's unbelievable to think that they literally hand drew every frame for this game. Now, I know I keep saying it over and over again, but if that still all isn't enough to get you into this game, I think the next thing that will be is easily the storyline of this game. Skullgirls takes a new way of telling a story. You will never play the same story twice on any of the characters, because Skullgirls takes an interesting step that I haven't seen in another game. And that's, whatever character you're playing is the main character. Which means, if you play character A, and you beat their story, every other character in the game, B through Z, will be doing something different. But if you play character B, character A becomes a different person in that story. It's almost like they're their own little universes, which is pretty darn cool. And I love that idea. And the Skullgirls stories are also, they're non-narrated, which is another cool thing, so which means it's more driven by the story art and the character itself. And in my opinion, that's really cool. Now, the characters in game do have voices, they do. But there's no narration, it's just all text. But the game looks beautiful, in my opinion, for that alone. And again, I don't know many games that do that. There are some, I'm sure. I never really got hugely into story in any fighting game because fighting games, it's all been about the fighting. But in Skullgirls, it takes a new direction for me because they actually took some time to really take some good story narrative and take it into heart and make it really good. Which, again, I can't say any other game does that. But I truly think that it's amazing that you can play one character and play branching story arcs of other characters that are still involved in the same world that you're in now. They may not do the exact same thing every time. One character could be good one story, and then another story completely and utterly evil. That to me is pretty cool, and really, I give them respect for taking that direction. And it's just really nice to see someone take that direction and not really, try not to completely ruin it. And the character stories themselves are still good. Albeit, some of the stories are outrageous, and I won't tell you about them because I actually think that they're worth playing. They are completely worth playing. I beat every single storyline because they were, some of them, outrageously funny. Especially some of the endings, like the one I'm showing now, of Beowulf, who is a crazy wrestling guy from, who's centuries old, apparently defeated a demon. That's what I remember. And he uses a giant arm from a demon he's slain and uses it to fight. It's crazy, and he's outrageous. His lines are outrageous. One of his lines for his attack moves is 120-inch python. Yeah, that's beautiful right there. But other than that, not all the characters are outrageous like that. But they have style. They have their own uniqueness, so much so that some of the moves you could say, okay, well, this character's like this other character from another fighting game, but they're still unique enough to keep you interested. And the characters don't ever veer off from their character, progression that they're taking, and albeit the stories are short, but still really good and really creative, and I, again, applaud them for this. Reverge Labs has done an amazing job at creating this game, I think. But some people may not like it. Some people may not like storyline in this game, and I know I'm probably spending a lot of time talking about the storyline, but there's a lot to it that makes it unique enough between each and every character to really, really say that it's a good game. Even for story, even if you're not into fighting games, the story about each and every character is really cool. So, if I had one thing to say, if you're not going to be in for the fighting, get in for the story. If you're not in for the story, the fighting is amazing. It will teach you everything you need to know. Everything. Which to me is really cool and really great. So, hey, take a look at that if you want. If all of that still isn't enough, I think the next best thing that you should probably look at in this game would have to then be the music. The music is also really good. I mean, every character, every stage, every scene seems to have a different soundtrack, and it all just has a really good vibe to it. I mean, some of it has this cowboy bebop-ish feel to it, and then some of this has this retro, cool, lounge. It's all just amazing. It's hard to really pinpoint all of it because it's all just really good. So I'll shut up for a moment so you can actually hear it. that last one you heard was my favorite one, and then also all the music that you've heard this entire video has been from the game. There's, I think, 40 plus tracks, and I believe some unlockable ones inside the game that I didn't get to, because I think you have to complete the game on certain difficulties to get some of them. I don't know, but I've heard there's a lot of music, and again, there's so much variation between them that they're all just unbelievably good. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope I was able to inform as well as I could. I went over a lot of research into this game to try and give a lot of information about it, and there was so much to it. I just really hope that I could have given you a good impression of this game. And I'm changing up the style, by the way, real quick, of the videos. This is gonna now be the new style because DX Tory broke. But hope you guys really enjoyed this new format, and I hope I could give you a good opinion of this game. Thank you for watching, and by the way, we let credits roll on this channel because I like to give credit to the developers, so enjoy watching the rest of that if you really like. Goodbye!
So down tonight, just another day that didn't go your way. Well, don't you make a side, just take my hand, don't toss and turn. Let's just lie awake. In just a moment's time, you wonder why you ever thought you ever longed for more than you've got. 'Cause baby, you've got you and me. I'm gonna hold you tight through the night. The bed bugs better hope that I don't bite while you're counting sheep in your head. It's time to hit the sack, kapow attack, smack those troubles down, KO they're down. 1, 2, 3 a.m. Or is it midnight still? The windowsills a million miles away, but your lucky star, he's here for sure. Down beneath the sheets, the world is yours to conquer. Won't be long, dear. I'm the king